I see that somebody been doing some yard work, or looks like they've been working inside. I think it was sold to the sheriff's center.
That is such a beautiful house. But nobody's ever said it.
The people we sold it to lived in it for 3 years.
Who you got that? Parker Cove? Parker Cove?
Yeah, Parker and Reno, they split up.
I heard they tore it up. Well, I mean,
I
you
heard,
don't have to say.
I heard the same thing.
Yeah, that's just his. We just talked. Somebody had to tell us that.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful home.
But I think, someone told me that it sells was trying to rehab it. Had a lot of work
Oh, yeah.
from what I understand.
It was a beautiful home.
We enjoyed it, yeah. Someone had called my wife about a year after.
All right.
If I had got.
You got the morning on?
No, I'm not either.
Oh, Mike?
It's on the back.
Well, welcome everybody. This meeting is now under order. Kim, will you lead the prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, Lord, and we ask you to be the head of this meeting, God, as this council and the mayor makes the best decision for the town moving forward, Lord. Give us the wisdom and the knowledge that we need, Lord. Bless all our families at home, and bless all our town members that are here and their families and the whole town, Lord. We ask all these things in your precious mighty name.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We observe a moment of silence for the people that we've lost recently in our community. Thank you.
Let the record show that the meeting is being recorded.
Roll call for please, ma'am.
Yes, I left my drink fire. Councilman Tony Gilbert. Councilwoman Kim Thibodeau.
Here.
Councilwoman Erica Francis. Here. Councilwoman Trudy Patterson.
Here.
Councilwoman Kate Adair.
Here.
Let the record reflect all present for our council meeting. Next item is public comments on our current agenda items. Would the public have any comment at this time?
I actually do. We're raising the water sewer on that?
Sir?
Are we raising the prices of the sewer?
We're going to get to that topic coming up, yes.
Okay.
And you'll be able to address it at the time. But yes, we are.
Sorry?
And that is something that's coming up on the agenda.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I do have an addition to the agenda that was left off because we said that we would adopt serve law. So I would like to make an addition to the agenda tonight. We have to have a public, we have to have a second, we have to have a public comment on that.
A second.
And we have to have public comment. That addition to the agenda would be the adoption of the serve line ordinance increase on the fee schedule that we talked about last month, increasing the fees by $2 and I want to say 61 cents. That's what we'll take, yes, it was $2.61, so the trash pickup will go from $18 to $25, $26. And that is up for public discussion right now.
The serve line, just for your knowledge, basically that roughly a $2 administrative fee is attached. Once a customer has an issue with a water leak, I had one recently, there's paperwork involved to turn that in and get the reimbursement done on the payment for a leak. So that's the rationale behind the small increase for an administrative fee. Basically, we're working break even on that program.
So there's a motion and a second to add an agenda item in public comment. Maybe you need a call for a vote, you need unanimous vote to add that as an agenda item.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record reflect. Any additional comments on the attached agenda to be discussed at this moment? There being none. Next item, need an approval for the July 2nd minutes and dispense reading of the same.
A motion that we approve the minutes of July 2nd as is, with dispense with reading of the same.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record reflect. Next item, I need a motion and a second to transfer funds with discussion or questions on any bills.
I'd like the record to show that, the clerk, all of our bills are up to date and have been posted, which is a great feat.
Any questions on concerns regarding any bills that were paid? There being none, do I have a motion and a second?
Make a motion that we move to transfer funds to pay bills.
I'll second.
All in favor? Motion passed. Number 8, Mr. Ken Kirshner, would you stand, sir? At this time, I'd like to recognize with great pleasure the many achievements he's had. He's been with the Town of Elton for how long, Ken? 5 years. 5 years, and recently he received his certification for, what's the title, Ken?
Water and wastewater operator.
Yeah, so basically Ken now is qualified to run our sewer and water treatment plant based on our town's population. Yeah, it's a little certificate, more to come.
Somebody get a picture.
Somebody get a picture,
Yeah.
send you everything, have your phone.
And truly
Not at this
appreciate,
time.
Thank you.
truly appreciate all the work you do for us here.
But as soon as we have
Yes.
money.
Congratulations.
Mr. Ken's always willing to.
We'll get a frame for you.
Well, you have to look at the camera,
Yeah, all right, why he's handing it to you.
just like at school.
Thank you.
Thank
I know you're
you.
heading to that. Thank you, Ken.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Okay, moving on to number 9. Basically, I just wanted to let everyone know that we're changing the court amount, or the dates, I guess, that we're doing court. In the past, we've done them every month. I'm now moving that to a quarterly basis, based on the number of citations and I guess the workload. It would reduce some cost to us regarding Mike being here every month. So again, we're going to move that to a quarterly basis. We will post that information so that any tickets that we do issue, the public will be aware, and we'll do our paperwork regarding getting that information out.
You have those quarterly dates on that.
Yeah,
statement.
basically the dates for that would be in October, the first Wednesday in October, first Wednesday in January, April, and July. That's going until July of 26. And so, go ahead.
Mayor, I prepared an order for you. You don't have to, you can sign it whenever you want, as the judge of the court to arrange that schedule the way it's being.
Okay, number 10, Basically, this is
Excuse me,
another,
I need to ask, is this an order that needs to be published?
I would suggest posting it, but it doesn't need posting. Just, here on the door.
Webpage?
Yes,
number 10 basically is an announcement that in the future, we will be charging the customer for sewer and water hookups. In the past, there was no, there was an old ordinance, but nothing defined as far as cost. So now, prior to a new customer moving into town and requiring a sewer or water hook, I will provide an estimated cost. The customer will have to pay those expenses prior to being connected to our sewer and water. So that is actually being implemented. No, it's just an announcement that the current ordinance is on the book. Am I correct, Mike?
yeah, ordinance 71488 provides for the town charging the actual cost for making up water and sewer connections. I was consulted as to whether or not that some kind of schedule needed to be put into that ordinance. My opinion was that the mayor has the authority to put together the actual anticipated cost. I suggested to him a procedure for doing that, and I don't think it required any action legislatively from the council for him to do that.
That's already been in place, and I will provide that to the community. Number 11. This basically is an introduction to amend an ordinance, and I'll let, Kay, would you read that? And then, basically, yeah, we can go ahead and read it, then I'll ask for public comment.
Okay. Basically, we were ordered to do a rate study, which all municipalities have to do every so often. We haven't had one done. Our water rate increase since 2022. Our rate study was recently completed by Wagner Group, which was a part, it was mandated and it was in part related to a grant that we had. And when that came back, it stated that we must raise our rates by 20% now, in the next 2 years by 5%, and the years thereafter by 3% each year. This has to do with a cost of living index, and it's something that we don't want to do. It's something that, of course, all of us on fixed incomes know that it's just gonna be, our belt's gonna be a little bit tighter, but it's something that we have to do. So that motion is going to be to amend the current water and sewer ordinance, which is in chapter 15, article 13, section 1519, to reflect those new rates set by our most recent water study done by the Wagner Group. And we will entertain public comment on that motion
When does this go into effect?
immediately as soon as we can pass it.
So like next month's bill?
This is only this is an introduction, so
Yeah.
tonight we have to do the introduction, and then next month we would be able to adopt it. But we are thinking about having a special meeting, we're going to call a special meeting to be able to adopt it. So yes,
So it could possibly take effect
In
next month too.
It'd be September, what I think is, or,
Try to be the earliest, just logistically, that would probably change rates in the middle of.
yeah, we're not hit in the middle of a month or anything. It would be,
Okay, so one
water
bill,
bills are read normally on the 15th or 16th of each month,
okay,
actually mailed out at the end of the month or the first of the month. So, and they're running, what you're viewing is actually the previous month's bill.
okay. 1 month mine was 80, this month it's 60. So by 20%, what's that gonna make my water bill?
Basically, you're looking at,
We have the rate.
so basically the flat rate was $26. For a person using 2,000, I'm just giving you the general rate. There's $26 and went to 31 based on the 20% increase.
So with
So
my
it-
bill at being $80 a month, how much is my bill gonna go up?
It depends on what you use that month.
If it goes up 20%,
It depends on how much
well,
water you
10%
use.
if you're.
okay,
It's gonna be a
if it's gonna be
percentage.
80, if it's gonna be $80, what is my water bill going to
20% of
be?
$80 is $16, or
You can add
$96.
that to 60.
So 96.
If you had an $80 water bill, at a 20% increase would be $96.
But remember, your trash is going up too.
So that's even more
At
added to the bill.
26, yes, it was at 18, so you gotta look at your water and your trash.
Correct.
So when it goes up, I don't want somebody to go, oh, the water, but it is water and trash, so we're having.
Yeah,
Miss Lady, I looked at
Yes.
I looked
Yeah.
at my bill, being single, in a single household like yours, and mine's like $66, and so when I added all these things that we're going to put into, it was gonna raise my bill between $72 and $80. So I think it's probably.
$272 or $80.
$272, no, not $572, but from the $60 to $66 mark to about $82 on the high end.
yeah.
And that's if I continue to use the current rate of water, which I never use all my water, I'm sure you don't either.
No, for 2 months it was $80-something both months, but this month I just paid it, it's gone down to 60, so I'm just wondering,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
about what.
just, this is a ballpark figure, okay? So that in my head, I can get ready.
Well, we're not happy about having to implement this.
Well,
here.
I know you're not.
And basically, I guess some hope down the line is, there was discussion, have a new administrative team at Coshada, but I have met with them regarding a project that basically is in infancy. That would be a new water plant with a tower close to Coshada. And again, I'm waiting to hear from the new administrator and meet with them. So that's nothing final, but it's, I guess, some hope down the road that basically what's happened now is we're having to buy from East Allen, and there's a cost, that plus all our service and our infrastructure is old. The main service lines are good, the 6-inch to 8-inch lines. It's the service lines that are in need of I guess, changing at some point. We're doing them as we fix the leak.
Okay, and what about people that can't afford this?
Right.
What's gonna happen? Well, I'm just asking, Mike,
That's a good
you
question.
don't have to cut their water off?
Well, we've had some that we've had to do a payment plan with them to help.
Okay, so you do offer that?
That, we're open to help people any way we
I
can.
know that, that's what I'm
The
saying.
elderly, that's the main thing, too, you know, either pay my water bill or get my medicine, you know, not me,
Yeah,
but
some
the
people,
elderly.
but you will, the town of Elton will work with
Yes, and we have in the past, you know.
Well, that needs to get out to the people of Elton, the citizens, that they know our council and our mayor and our
We're willing to
city
work with
and
it.
our attorney is going to help us.
Yes, and there's been some hardship
So don't get
cases
mad
that
already.
came to us and we've helped them, you know, so there's still some, but I agree with you. We probably need to post that.
Well, yeah, let people know,
that
you know,
there
because
is
that's
help.
frightening.
And there's
That's very
also,
frightening.
there was help, I don't know if it's still available, that they can get help depending on their income to help with utilities.
Yeah. By the grace of God, you know, I can afford this,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, I'm thinking of other people and what we need to do to help our other people,
Right.
because we're all in the same boat.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't quite catch it. Could you explain again the 5%, 3%?
Basically, that is a cost of living index that is tied to this proposal
And when will those
They will-
increases take effect?
each year.
So each year will go up an additional 5%?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Part of the reason for that, Miss Imelda, is number one, we haven't done this like we were supposed to be doing this. So the very last water rate study that was done, there was supposed to be incremental percentages going up all this time, and we haven't done it in so long, that now we're so far behind that we have to do what's a 1.15 sustainability factor, which means that we have to have a certain amount of money in that department to be able to counteract anything that would go wrong in the department, you know, to be able to furnish water for the town. So we have to have that 1.15, and if we don't have that much money in there, we don't make sustainability. And that's what this is
Basically,
gonna
what happens there
increase.
too, if you don't have this sustainability piece, there's some grants you can't apply for and can't receive.
So every year is gonna be an increase of 5%, so where does the 3% come in?
That's after.
That's after
That's
so
after
many
the
years.
first 2 years.
They
5 or
figured it
10.
out, it'll go 20, then next year you'll get a 5%, and then next year you'll get a 5, and then it'll go to 3. Lake Arthur does the same thing every
And
year,
here-
it's a 3%.
Thereafter 3%, after the
That's
first 2
right.
years, okay.
Yes.
Right.
We're
Most
trying to
towns-
catch up.
You have,
Well, no, most towns do it, it's
No,
always
but
gonna
we're
be-
trying to catch up. to the
Right.
Yeah,
things.
right now.
You
We're
have
trying
to,
to catch
you have
up.
to get your rate to a current level, and then you have an increase over time. Some communities do they base it on the CPI for, for water, gas, and sewer utility, there's a separate CPI factor for that. Some simply institute every year. You know, the cost for the treatment of water, the production of water, we purchase the water that's produced by somebody else. But when their costs go up for the chemicals, the labor, et cetera, they raise the rates that they sell the water to us for. And so, you know, in the last, in 2023 and 24, the rate inflation was very high. And so part of that is also, what does it cost to produce water, to treat sewer, et cetera. So I think y'all are just gonna go with, y'all gonna go with the 3% every year factor as opposed to implementing the CPI, or no?
Yeah, basically the first step would be the 20, then the 5, then we go to 3s.
And it's just gonna be 3 in each successive.
Yes, and that is based on 2024 numbers. So that is not based on our 2025 numbers. So next year,
We already.
it could conceivably, if we do really well where we're supposed to be, conceivably, Ms. Letty, it might not be 5%. But if we don't hit that 1.15 and we don't do what we're supposed to do,
The reason
then it's going to be at
water
least
is scheduled to
5%.
come
You
in
need to
into
make up
another.
your mind what you're gonna charge people and stick with it. And don't say maybe if we do it, because that is a false hope. It doesn't bother me, but it is a false hope. And some people,
I'm not trying to give you a false hope. I want the town to realize that the numbers that Wagner gave us are based on 2024 numbers,
yeah.
and we don't have, that is just what we could pull off of what was done to us in the past. That's what they
Now, this
said.
doesn't reflect our trash or our
No,
sewage,
ma'am.
so they can go up on us also?
Your sewage is going up 20% too.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
sewer. This is
Sewage is
water and
one
sewer.
city
Water and
water,
sewer is
so
how you get
like
it.
a quarter probably altogether.
Okay, I just wanna know, I mean, I wanna know what I'm in for here, look.
So this ordinance is good.
Okay.
Any other questions
That's
regarding?
fine for an introduction. So you just need to make. a
What
motion.
about the sir in the green shirt? Did he want to ask some sewage?
Huh?
You want- Oh, yeah, you
Sir, you have a question
water,
about the water and
sewage,
sewer. You started off.
Yes, why now?
Why now?
Why the increase now?
Because we just received a rate study
Okay.
that analyzes our expenses, our income. We are now operating in a negative in that account. That is not lawful.
Okay.
We have to maintain what's called a sustainability factor, where if we have a major issue, we have to have the money in the bank to fix it.
Okay.
So it's a mandate.
Right. I understand it's a mandate, but what I mean is,
Why now?
why this year and not
We can't wait.
previous?
We cannot wait. The
It should
town-
have been issued.
It
For
wasn't,
all those years?
For
2 years.
it wasn't done by the
For 2 years.
previous
For
administration.
three, actually, we're doing it in 25 based on 24 numbers, and the last time it went up was in 2022. It should have been increasing. It should have increased in 2022, 2023, and 2025. It should have been a steady
So-
increase, and it wouldn't have been this much.
Okay, so what you're
That's
saying
it,
is the
there
previous.
was a rate study done since this council been put in here.
The last one that we
Yeah, I know
found in the
of.
records was 2022.
22 and 23, it wasn't done in 23, because it went up to 23.
That's right.
Yeah, 23.
There was one done since the council been here, and that's when it went up 20-something
Oh, yeah, it was
percent
in
then.
20, it was in
23.
2023, yeah, cause
Well, we don't have,
we did a
we
rate.
did not find records of
Oh,
that.
yeah,
There,
We
it
did
was.
not find
So,
records of
I
that.
don't know why I was
No,
thinking
you're correct.
2022.
It was done in
No.
23.
And
Yeah, it was
then that
23.
was supposed to be done then.
Who did that one? Do you remember who did that rate study?
Louisiana.
LRW.
Yeah,
They actually did the last one.
yeah, cause they came and did a presentation in
Yeah,
here.
and that's when they just doubled everybody's work.
Yes,
And I stopped.
yes.
And I just called him again, I said, do you realize what you just did? Cause you just did it again.
They
There's
didn't do
there's no way. That's 20%, that's almost 30% in 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah, so the last one.
And then now we're going up then, and then another 5, so, I mean, that's within a year, within 6
We
months,
just
you're
guessed
going up
2024.
5% again.
We will
So,
have.
I mean, we were supposed to be good at that point whenever he did the study 3 years ago, and we still not, something's not adding up.
What you're-
Inflation's causing it.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's
If you
what
don't understand
inflation's
inflation, you
causing.
never understand why
But
the
it
continues to
should
go up.
be.
It's two things. It's our infrastructure, our service lines, and the expense.
They should have kept up with this
We
level.
just, a lot of,
And they would figure it
cut off
per
our
year, that way you don't have to stop with
Kids been
25%.
tested what we're facing now with
I know
water.
what they face.
So,
And I know why it's going up, but it shouldn't be going up. I don't think it should be going up that much in 2 years.
well,
So they're saying they remember 2023, we have no paperwork on that, so I'm going to
LRWA.
contact LRWA,
Yeah.
and we'll get that last rate study that y'all are talking about that you remember,
That would be
because,
nice.
you know, you.
Was this council?
Was
Was this council involved?
Yeah.
I stood in the back and said the same thing I'm saying again. You just doubled the water bill. I argued with Tony forever about it. And, I mean, it's like, I asked him the other day, I said, how can it go up that much again in 2 years? I mean, I know inflation goes up, but I mean,
What did he say?
it went up that much. He said, well, you must, you wait and finish with the study. when I
There's several
talked to
things
him.
that's happening too. We're now on a current, backflow prevention, not backflow, flushing. It has about 30% cost to our water. Our last water bill from East Allen was 29,000? 30 grand.
It's right at
Just-
30,000.
Just water, no expenses tied to it.
And I
30,000.
called Mr.
And
Sherman.
if you figure 480 customers and what we're taking in,
Yeah.
we're operating negatively.
He said we're wasting a lot, but he said you have to.
You have to
You
keep the
have to.
chlorine level
It
right.
is, that was mandated to us by FDA.
Okay, any other?
Are you gonna post?
He's still not finished.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Out there on the-
That answered the question,
Oh, you good?
up to a point.
I'm gonna post the new rates on the municipal page.
See,
My thing is, y'all talk about the water bill,
Yes, ma'am.
this, that. On MLK, Martin Luther King Drive, it got a flood from the corner all the way
I
down.
know exactly where it is.
So, I mean, it's wasting water, so.
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
have
so-
5 major leaks right at the moment.
Okay.
I have one man, I have asked him to do an 811 call, they'll be fixed in the next week, all of the leaks. We have 5 right now. The last major leak was on a 2-inch line and we were losing water. So it's been done by priority, but I'm aware of the leak you're talking about.
Yeah, cause I mean, there's a lot of water that's being wasted on that road.
Well, that will be handled shortly. That's part of our issue, we're still losing some water.
Yeah, there's a lot of water. I mean, this instead of running out.
I'm aware. Any other questions or comments?
There being no other comments, I make a motion that, it is ordained by the Elton Town Council that the council in regular session assemble that in order to eliminate past and future deficits in the utility fund and upon recommendations from previous utility rate study recommendations to increase said rates in the utility department. Be ordained in this regular session, assembled that at the start of every fiscal year, the sewer fee shall be adjusted by a percentage amount equal to the new percentage rate change in the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, or 5%, whichever is less.
Ms. Peg, I got a question. At first, when you first read it, you said it was an intro, like we were just introducing it, but
This is the introduction. This is the, it is still an
It's
introduction.
a motion to introduce.
This is still a motion to introduce.
We have to publish it as
Yes.
well. And actually, we're gonna schedule.
So I have a motion.
You don't need a second. Introduce.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Let the record reflect that the ordinance was introduced by Councilwoman.
Number 11,
12.
sorry, number 12. Number 12 is a resolution. Yes, another increase. You know what? It's so painful that when we were going through this, it's like, we are not going to ask for one this month and one next month, one. Let's just do all the surgery tonight and get it all over with.
Mayor, you're on the agenda item 12, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Was 11, did we get through at 11?
11, we're done with. It was just an introduction. It did not
It's an
require.
introduction to amend, correct.
on the agenda, it says motion to amend. That's what confused me.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because it had to be an introduction.
Okay, well, I scratched it out.
Some of this stuff that we actually had to go back and dig, there was current old, it was one from 1976 that we looked at. So we're trying to incorporate current ordinances and update them as we go along. So that's kind of what's happening
Which
there.
is good, it means we're actually finding some ordinances, and a year ago, we couldn't find hardly anything, so that's good, we're finally digging deep now. So we're on item number 12. Item number 12 is a resolution to increase the trash pickup to $26. I'll make a resolution, to do that. And we need public comment on that.
The public comment, this again pertains to our trash pickup. Just to kind of give you a little history on it, we were with Republic prior to, and I think the rate at that time, if you'll correct me if I'm wrong, was $26. But now, we're operating, our cost to them is $18 for just the general pickup plus the bulk pickup rate. So we're still operating negatively in regard to our garbage pickup. This would at least allow us to make a few dollars and keep, build up a little revenue in some of this in our accounts.
They have gone up on their
Yeah,
budget
they
with
did go
us,
up
they
recently,
did go
too.
up recently on their budget with us.
But didn't we have a contract with them?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
have
but
a
there was
contract.
tied to, they
There's
can
a
raise
meeting.
it annually.
And that's in the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
And we did introduce that.
And basically, we did reduce some of our costs there. We had a dumpster on site that is being utilized as well. We could probably save what was it? Andrea, do you remember?
1,000.
Roughly $1,000 to $1,200 by removing that and keeping the bulk pickup in place.
Well,
They're utilizing both. We had a bulk pickup plus they were able, our residents were able to come and dump at our barn as well. So
and what about the services that are being provided for them, this money we're paying? We have garbage pickup, and they leave the garbage cans in the middle of the road. You have bulk pickup, they don't pick everything up, they pick up what they can grab, other stuff they run by.
We've addressed that with them. Actually, we had a call today, there were some places missed.
Right,
So,
there was.
we have some things in place to correct those issues. And every time we have an issue, it is reported to them. I actually went out this afternoon and took pictures of several spots that were missed. And she actually had contact with them this afternoon after the fact. So they'll be taking care of.
That's not what I'm saying, Mike. I understand they did miss some.
Okay.
What I'm saying is the ones they do hit, they'll go in,
That has been reported as well.
they'll scoop, and whatever stays on the ground, stays on the ground.
As I see it and it's reported, it's called into them immediately. So when and if any of you, and it does happen, I've seen it myself, so I understand exactly what, but when you see an instance like that caused, it will be, I'll go take a picture personally and send it to them.
Some of the
Yeah,
other
document.
issues we
Okay.
had, some of the other issues we had with that was just scooping it up and throwing the garbage can on the side of the road
Yeah, and I've
and
seen
breaking
that
the
in the
garbage
past,
can.
too.
And one thing about it is if your garbage can is broken or marred in any way, you need to call us and let us know.
Mine's broken already.
Because part of our contract, Mr. Mike, is that they will repair that
Or
or
replace
replace that.
Well, if they don't slam it against the ground 10 times, it won't break.
Exactly,
I agree.
exactly.
Mine's-
Or leave it in the middle of the highway.
Mike, are these the trash cans that are supposed to have a chip?
They do. The numbers on the
Why
front.
do we have to have that?
And cameras
Well,
Why do we have to have a
There's
chip?
two things that happen.
Would it be cheaper to get rid of the chip? Which one, a chip?
Well, the chip is, well, basically it's the tracking, and actually they have cameras on the truck.
Do they track it?
They know they can replay that whole route, and they have.
Well, what about the business down there that's been closed for 6-7 months now, and their trash can is still against the business? But that bait store, flower shop, Nina's flower shop, Nina's been gone for
We are-
2 years now.
There's no, basically, whenever the contract was written, we're charged for 512 cans. We don't pick up 512 cans. That rate was based on our initial contract with them. So they came up with a contract based on 500 cans. Whether we pick up 400 or 500, they're charging the same amount.
But it's still there.
So those cans, again, whenever we started, there were 512 cans delivered to us. We don't have 512 trash customers.
No, 'cause some people got three, I see somebody got 3 trash cans in their yard.
Well, some of them have purchased them. They're-
Look, personally, I saw somebody come on my street and took a trash can.
They do take, that's why I'm
And that's why I say don't have a tracking on it, because if it had a tracking, it would still been at that address. But I can go into it, tell you exactly where the trash can is, the person that came in got it, it's not my
It should
name.
have a number on it.
It don't matter, that's what I'm saying, you got a number, you don't have a track, because if it was a tracking, that track would show.
There's a
No,
number,
At that address.
that number is
There's
a
a
track.
number, yeah, there's a number inscribed on the trash.
Okay, well, how
That's
this
attached to your-
person get, using 3 trash cans?
Good question. Somebody didn't miss it apparently. No, you got a point.
They got 3 trash cans, and every Tuesday, the 3 trash cans get in.
So whenever a business shuts down or wherever it has garbage cans, there are no other repercussions for just leaving it there?
We don't, normally we pick it up, now the part of the process is somebody cuts their water off and is leaving, or a new customer. Part of our work order is to pick up that trash can.
It's been closed, what, the bait
Well,
store,
then
Nina's been gone almost 2 years, I think.
Well, that's possible.
And then the bait lady, she just closed that probably 6, 8 months ago. And the
I don't
trash
think- I
can's
don't think
still
we
there.
have. That's-
And I remember them saying that
Cause
once
and
the water's
that's
cut
good.
off, the trash
You
can's
know that, huh? I don't know if the water's still on. If the water's still on, then the trash can.
In Maryland, there's trash cans at the park that are missing. I've said that, we need to find out where our trash cans went.
You got a chip.
Well, you got the chip, you got the tracking numbers.
I've asked about the chip, I don't.
I do not, I'm not aware that we have a chip.
They
We
say,
asked
they
about the
said,
chip.
Oh, yeah,
But
that
I'm
was
not
a reason to
sure.
get them,
I
so that you could,
Mr. Ken should
track
be able
your
to
trash.
tell us that water's cut off over there at the old flower shop and the bait store.
Mr. Ken, is the water cut off, to your knowledge, at the flower shop and the vape store down here on the corner of Main?
Bait shop's not.
The vape shop is not?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
So the trash can is, okay, so the bait shop is closer to the, what's that road? Next to the railroad track.
No shop.
And Nina's flower shop was closest to the old Carl Pete's place, okay? So the trash can is next to Nina's old flower shop. There's none in the back, but there's one right there, and that kind of like puzzles me because it's like, why? Why is it still doing here?
Good question.
Is Nina's flower shop, the flower shop named Nina's Flower Shop, does that have?
No,
Something else in the shop.
McCauley's Flower Shop.
Holly.
McCauley, right next to the flower shop, right next to the vape shop, does that bring,
Is
is
that-
that, does that work?
It's the owner.
They have not been finalized.
That was
One of the
things.
things, one of the issues that we face as officials,
1 meter to that building.
1 meter to the whole building.
Maybe-
So whose name was that in? Will be the thing. So which business owner was paying that bill? Which business owner had his name on that bill? So which business owner owns that trash can? Is it the one that still has the water cut on? And that's why the trash can is still there.
We'll check into that.
When there's a poster out there for sale.
I bet you it's
It's probably in the owner's name.
It's
Could be
not.
the owner.
And one of the,
Because they leased this.
I made a note.
Drill down to the facts.
And as these things occur, as these things occur, let us know.
Yeah.
I promise you, we will react to them. You know, right now, again, I've said in the past, we've got a skeleton crew, but we will continue to operate this town and do what's right for our people. Period.
Are y'all in the process of getting another maintenance van to help Ken?
Not at the moment, we cannot afford it.
There's no money.
But yes, we will, and hopefully once we get some revenue generated, we will get everything back on
Well,
track.
yeah, still talking about the sewage thing that they did in my backyard. And I'm grateful that my grandchildren are big enough that they know how to swim. But I'm concerned about those 2 little kids next door to me and those other children across from First Street that play right there too. I bet that big old hole was still
Well,
in my
what we can do
backyard.
there probably is put a barricade. What he needs to do is tie into sewage, and then we have to inspect it.
Who has to do that?
The owner,
Troy?
landowner.
Oh, so y'all still waiting on Troy?
Yeah, but we could put a barricade around that, because basically all we did was go from the.
And with all this rain, it's like, I mean, it's a deep hole, Mike.
Yeah, I
you
know, I was there when they dug it.
Yeah, So if one of those kids get out and fall in there, they're never coming out.
We'll make a note to barricade it.
You can't find the police for that? It's not against the law to do what he did, it's not a safety issue? You
Well, I
can't
guess
find
it could be a safety issue, but apparently he's not ready
I'll
to
tell
tie
you what,
that,
if my
make that tie into
grandkids
this
that
to
small,
it.
playing outside and go drown.
Anyway, we can barricade it, we need to barricade it.
So I have a resolution motion. Are there any other public comments about the trash increase? I have a resolution motion on the table. I need a second. Council?
I second
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. All right, moving on to item 13. Basically, this is a motion to accept, because we have already introduced it, am I correct, Mike? Okay.
Yes, we have already introduced it. We tabled it last month when we got ready to adopt. We tabled it because there was some language in there that we did not like. We went back to the drawing board and asked input for it and rearranged some things, added some different language. This ordinance has the effect of regulating camping insofar as it regulates the use of RVs and camping trailers requiring inspection for permitting, for use as temporary, short-term. Last month in Maryland, when we visited this, you had brought up the fact, what if there's a hurricane or a tornado and my house gets blown away, am I gonna be able to live in that? And that answer was yes. So we redrafted the information in it. And so this is a motion to accept amendments to a previously introduced camping regulation ordinance and to adopt the ordinance as amended.
There'll be two sets of motions and votes, the second which is going to require a roll call vote on the adoption.
So the first motion, this is a motion to accept amendments to a previously introduced camping regulation ordinance. I need a second on that
Have a
motion.
second? Dawn, second. All in favor?
Aye. So that was on part one. And on part two,
We'll need to do a roll call, or just,
Now, you just need to make a motion to adopt a second and then ask for public input.
should that public comment prior? Is it a vote?
Yes, motion second, then ask
Then
for
ask.
public comment,
Have a
and
motion
then
and
ask for
second.
discussion.
I have a question that we talked about, some people that are in the, RV trailers, we understand that might be all they can afford and stuff, but, I just don't wanna, I'm not saying we're putting a Band-Aid on the problem, but we need to really look, realize that they can only live in those things for a certain amount of time. I'm not trying to throw anybody off the property
And that's what this is.
or anything like that.
That after that period of time,
No,
they have to vacate?
Yeah. You have to, that or they have
Unless
to
it's
come
a
apply.
special circumstance, like what
Yes.
Miss Mary said. Okay.
That-
That's what I've understood.
That or there could be an extenuating circumstance where they're living with, on a camper, taking care of their parent.
Yes.
And they're asking an extension, there have to be extenuating circumstances.
Yes.
Plus, they have to be tied to our utilities and tied down on the camper if it's gonna use.
And our inspector will go inspect the camper, right?
Yes.
And it has to
And
be-
there's still the condemned, we have several properties that trailers actually have been condemned.
Okay.
This finishes it off where we have the right to.
To say that.
so all that information was added into this motion.
Yeah, I
So
read it, I'm just making sure.
I make a motion to adopt said ordinance as amended.
I say.
Can you make a rule that their camper has to be neat on the outside? Like grass has to be cut?
And that's already an ordinance.
There's an ordinance
Yeah.
already pertaining to the grass.
Well, I see a lot of them that y'all ain't doing the ordinance.
Well,
My neighbor.
That's right, mine's
just
on.
died.
But that goes
My
back to
neighbor-
I
our,
know.
One
us
neighbor
doing
has
it and
chest
then Bruce
high
has to
grass,
give
the
them
other
a.
one
I can't
does
hear
the
you.
order.
What'd you say, Eric? I
I
can't hear.
said, one neighbor on one side of me has chest high grass, the other one has full of junk cars in the yard.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
my thing is, like a person that don't have no utilities at all, and you can't hardly see the house because of the grass. Can't y'all see the ordinance for it to be condemned?
Yeah.
Well, on Robinson Street, that should have been condemned, because I know my brother talked to you, hundreds of times, Chetty's Bushdale, 100 times that we done complained. My brother live in Texas, and when he comes, he's so scared to come to his own house because the grass is, and he done came and talked to y'all and asked y'all to send an order now to make it either cut the grass or condemn the house. It's a kind of shame. He got sofas, bicycles, everything.
Just to be clear, I want to make, condemnation of a structure is different from enforcing the other regulations, ordinances that we have with respect to the abatement, generally called abatement of nuisances, whether that's nuisance grass, nuisance junk, vermin, etc. So there are ordinances, and just because somebody has junk and high grass doesn't mean we can condemn their home. The home has to be in such a dilapidated structure that it becomes a public nuisance, or an attractive nuisance, a hazard, and is in danger of falling, all right? And it really has to be bad. That doesn't keep you from enforcing the other thing. So there are ordinances. Sometimes it's an issue of enforcement. So for example, with high grass, under the ordinance that I'm aware of, you gotta give the homeowner, or the owner, or the occupier notice, all right? That's done through the enforcement mechanism, all right? The enforcement mechanism falls over into the code enforcement or the police department. They give the notice, and then if it's not taken care of, there's two things. One, they can be cited then by the police department for violation of the ordinance, and two, the notice provides and the ordinance allows then that the town can then go onto the property, use its own equipment to abate the nuisance. That's to remove junk, to remove grass, or cut the grass. They send a bill to the homeowner. If the homeowner doesn't pay it, then they can file a lien for those charges, and then that lien amount gets added to the property taxes. So it's a multi-step process. But I just want to be clear on condemnation, that you can't just go around condemning houses and have tall grass and junk.
The condemn.
You can enforce against it.
The condemn is, I'm not saying condemn, but he should have got some letters because of the junk, and it's no windows on the house, the door is open. It's just.
Is the house occupied?
Yes.
But the sad thing is, there's a lot in town like that, and it would be up to Bruce to present with an ordinance, and he didn't want to give
With the
ordinance.
citation.
Citation, Bruce didn't want to give citation.
Situation.
He told us
If
first,
the town can go in and put a lien on the account,
but you could cite him too.
you know.
It doesn't
Okay,
pay,
that's
that's
why
why
you
you
get the
get
lien.
Right
So,
now,
y'all need
To get a fine.
we can have it.
but you ain't gonna put a lien on it.
You have to give them the notice.
You have to follow the steps.
Yes.
You have to follow the steps to get to the lien.
Yes, they would have to give you. Y'all have to
they don't respond.
Well,
Then you have to, I agree with you.
One at a time.
Constable and marshal of the town. You're thinking of the constable that gets elected that's connected to a justice of the peace.
Okay, yeah, so can the justice of the peace issue?
Basically, they serve summons primarily.
They're not going to serve notices of violation of municipal ordinances. Typically, the answer would be no.
But yes, we will address it. We have 14 properties that are scheduled for demolition. That should probably start in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We also are in the process of applying for a second grant. The first one was for $250,000. The second one is, I think, $500,000. So we already began the process of applying for a second one that would deal with demolition, not
But
grass.
she's
and-
talking about grass.
So what I'm saying is, if y'all would put a fine on these people, a heavy fine the first time, and you tell them, okay, we're gonna let you go this time, but we're gonna fine you 500. Next time, it's gonna be 2,000. I guarantee you they're gonna start cleaning it
Right, we
up.
have to get
I
that
say
fixed.
that.
See, that's what I'm saying. But if
What's
y'all
that
put-
address, and I'll follow up this week.
It's on Robinson Street. But,
Which house?
Across from this nigga.
I was there this morning.
You were bad back then, you wouldn't know which one it is. All you gotta do is go around.
I was on the wrong, right or left, I was there this morning.
Passing by there, you would know.
So who's responsible, Mike, for sending out
That's what I'm talking about.
a notice to the people, hey, you need to cut your grass and crop?
The council, not the council, the clerk. Basically what we've done, and we've probably sent out a half a dozen or so.
And you got ignored on quite a few of them.
Most of them don't respond, so you have to send another one, and the cost is $10 or $15. So you spend $30 or $40 sending certified.
You just stated that number one step is to send a notice.
We do that.
If they ignore
Certified.
the notice,
That's right.
you don't have to send a second notice, you need to cite them.
That's right. That's where.
Can't cite them.
Cannot.
Only the police department can cite.
Correct,
The mayor.
but it
the
can be
mayor-
referred to the police department to follow the steps to get to the lien part of it.
That's what I said.
And
But if you don't enforce
that comes down
anything,
to civil law,
you don't
and
get
police
anywhere.
departments don't sign on civil law, that comes down to the constable and the marshal's office.
The chief of police is the constable and the marshal for the town.
That's
Yes.
correct.
So, I mean, the elected chief of police.
We just
is-
covered
Bubba
that.
Langley.
Constable is Bubba Langley.
No, that is the justice of the peace court. That doesn't have anything to do with the town. That's a whole separate judicial system.
Bubba can convict, yeah.
So, so you notify the notice, all right? And then the mayor, without a citation being issued, can order the town to go on to the town workers, to go onto the property and clear the nuisance, right? But then when people don't pay, there's a lien, etc. That's different from fining somebody. The only way that you can fine somebody in this town is for a citation to be issued as a violation of a criminal ordinance, then that then is referred to the mayor's court, and there is an opportunity for a trial, and then there's an opportunity to be found guilty or not guilty. If they're found guilty, they are fined, all right? And then the fine is assessed against them. And then you can have another fine for more offenses. You can increase, you can't fine people more than $500, by the way, in mayor's court. That's the statutory maximum in Louisiana law. But you can continue to fine them. But if they don't pay the fines, you have the opportunity, in theory, you could jail them, but that's not a real possibility for this municipality this size. So then you can file a civil suit to enforce the fines that have been issued by the mayor's court. And then get a judgment, it goes against the property, and then eventually you can go seize the property if there's no other liens, etc. But the best way to deal with it is twofold. Go on, take care of that, bill them, and if they don't pay lien, but also the citation for the violation of the ordinance, so that they understand that there is not just a monetary penalty, but there is a criminal penalty for failing to take care of the property like everybody generally else is doing in town.
But you have to start somewhere
You're
to
right.
begin the process.
We've started that.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Aaron, you had something
But
to
how
say?
can you
Yes,
put a
so the
lien
city
on
is
somebody
getting- they
when they
don't
don't have
send
enough
out
money to
Hey, hold
cut
on,
their
hold on,
grass
somebody
and
else
pick
is
up their
talking.
trash?
Miss Lady, somebody else. is
That
talking.
won't work.
Hold on.
The city of Jennings doesn't send out certified letters anymore.
Do what?
The city of Jennings doesn't do certified letters
Okay.
anymore. What they do is, because we have 2 publications, Friday, technically Sunday, that comes out Saturday, so they're back to back. So they're saving money. They run the list in the paper on the 2 publication dates. That way, that's the notice. They no longer pay the certified letter stuff. If they do not do anything about it, the sign goes in the yard. If they don't do anything about it, the lien goes in the
I
yard.
like that.
Me
I wasn't
too.
aware.
Thank you.
That's a good idea.
So no officer goes out at all then in Jennings? There's no code enforcement at all?
No.
And it comes down, if they don't pay eventually.
Now, we have a whole department for code enforcement.
Yeah.
and There's a whole department.
Which we
But they don't have to go to the person's house. So you may want to.
I know y'all do, and y'all, work on that by sending out certified letters. It happened to my family recently. One of my family members did call and speak to Mr. Mike about a neighbor situation. And apparently they did get their certified letter, but when they did, they automatically retaliated against my family member, saying, "Yeah, the city hall told me it was you that called." And it's like, no, they can't. This is a brief of confidentiality. So whenever I call you to tell you something, or a family member or anyone calls you to complain about something, there is a brief of confidentiality that you do not say Marilyn Granger said that Imelda Guidry's yard looked trashy.
Correct.
And that's how it got there. I'm using it as an example.
Well, and you know, some people are going to say that, they're going to say, oh, City Hall said this, and we never said.
Right.
Well, my dad lives in 509 Robinson Street. Go tell Pat, old baby Pat, just pass and look and see if you living next door to that person. Matter of fact, all y'all go and make a pass at 509. All y'all make a pass and just look at the house and say, if I was living next door.
Well, there's several properties.
Is that house
down
on the
there. I just
demolition?
wanted to-
I'm living.
Don't just talk, Mike, write that down, 509.
No, I want to all go,
I know, I was there this morning.
look at it and say, you know, I wake up and, Erica, you got kids. If you came out in the morning and your kids, what you would say?
That's what I said about some of the RVs.
And I mean, my brother have talked to him.
Yep.
My brother have talked to him. He have talked to Mike several times. Every time my brother comes from Texas, he's calling his city hall. Every time behind his grass. And nothing has been done. It look like every time he called, more trash be put away. More trash be put away. So I mean, long as y'all don't do something,
No, you're right.
it's gonna be
It
okay.
happens, that's like everything else in this house. This town.
All right.
Ms. Miller has a question.
Question now. Go ahead.
The only thing about posting it in the newspaper once a week, I bet that very few people in Elton get the newspaper.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they have
But that's
Facebook.
not our problem.
That's
Still illegally.
The other thing we could do, we can put it on the municipal
Our
page.
municipal page as well.
Yeah.
Not everybody's got a computer.
They got still, but I mean, it's not our fault, so they got still.
I understand, I understand.
What do y'all think they do in other towns?
Yeah,
Seriously, what do y'all think they do in other
we
towns?
can't live in Mayberry.
In Bad Hill, I know for sure in Bad
I'm gonna
Hill,
find out what they do in
in
the
Bad Hill, they don't put.
We just found
If your grass is this high, my sister say, when you get your water bill, they got your grass thing bill with it, they don't come and cut your grass.
Or they cutting it into
They
bad
give you one notice.
That's
One
right.
notice?
One notice, and if you ain't cut it, they add it to your water bill. And if you ain't got no water bill, they add it to
Or they add to your taxes.
the tax. Whoever paid them taxes, that's who's gonna get that bill.
The town of Clinton, that's
And I guarantee you, whoever is paying them taxes, if y'all send them a $200 bill saying that it's time to pay, I guarantee you won't pay it. You won't have to cut it again.
That's right.
Cause he gonna
Attach a
make
letter
sure,
to their water bill.
cause he gonna make sure that.
If you don't have water, you can't have.
But whoever's paying them taxes, that's
But
who
we pay them
that's who that bill
And
is.
that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Whoever's
They
paying
put it
that
to the
bill,
tax.
taxes.
So when it
I don't
goes
know
down,
if they legally do that.
if the county don't own the property, but I'm paying the taxes, I'm gonna pay my taxes.
So he don't have no, Eric, he don't have no election, no utilities at all.
All right, let's get back to it. Thank y'all for your comments.
Okay, so we are on number 13. We had a motion to adopt on number 13, part 2. I made a motion. Kim, I understood that you seconded that motion to adopt. So let the record show Kim seconded that. We need a roll call vote on that. Mr. Holmes, we need a roll call vote on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Roll call vote, please.
All in favor, or do I need by name?
Roll call vote.
Address?
Councilman Tony Gilroy,
Yep.
Councilwoman Kim Tickler,
Yes.
Councilwoman Erica Francis, Councilwoman Trudy Patterson, Councilwoman Kate Adair.
Yes. That's a motion carried.
Madam Clerk, do you present that to the mayor for his approval after the meeting?
Thank you.
Number 14 is a motion in 2 parts again, something that's already been previously introduced. So I make a motion to accept amendments to the previously introduced mobile home regulation ordinance. Can I do my first motion?
May I say something? Yes.
Yes.
I had, what you have in front of you, the ordinance regulating residential mobile homes, house trailers, and manufactured houses. This is substantially similar to the Karen Pro ordinance that had been circulated a month or so ago, by the mayor to the council. So we completely revised that so that it reflects essentially those provisions. And so that's why you need a motion to accept the amendments to the originally introduced ordinance, and then a roll call vote on adoption after the acceptance of the amendments.
What is the ordinance? What are you saying? What are you gonna do? What is this ordinance? I want the meaning.
It requires that mobile homes that come into this community after adoption of this ordinance go through a thorough inspection process, permitting process, so that they are found to be in compliance with the relevant codes related to that sort of housing, and then requires certain ways that those are set up with respect to skirting, steps, etc. Anchoring is part of the code. That's part of the inspection.
That's new mobile homes that are coming in?
That's mobile homes that are brought into this community.
Existing mobile homes also?
No.
If you're gonna do this to a mobile home,
Can you
and
ever
you
believe
let them have trashy campers?
We're not gonna let them have trash.
They have them now?
They have them now. We have
And
trash.
you haven't done
trailers
anything to
now,
get
too.
rid of them?
On just so you know, on campers and RVs, on that particular ordinance that's been adopted, that applies to existing and ones that would be brought in town after. Mobile home was specifically drafted such that it only applies to those new ones that come in. So the council has elected under the Karen Crow model to basically grandfather those other homes that are there. Now, if they're substandard and subject to condemnation because they're not safe structurally, then that would fall under the condemnation ordinance, not under.
Basically, there was one that were pre-existing that fell, that we deemed it to be necessary to inspect.
How are you to judge whether it's to be necessary to be inspected?
Well, pretty good indication just driving by it normally.
One of the things that our building code inspector did tell us in the public meeting, and it is noted in the inspection process of the permits, is that, and this is for those mobile home owners that are already here, is that like if their utilities are disconnected, if their electricity is disconnected, then whenever they apply for utilities again, the utility company is required to come out, make sure that the pole is correct, make sure that mobile home can carry the payload of that electricity to the home. So then that would trigger an inspection of that particular mobile home. But this tonight is all new homes. If I'm living in a mobile home and I get my lights cut off.
Well, I live in a mobile home and I'm not gonna get my lights cut off.
Well, I know, but I'm just,
promise you that.
I'm not gonna get mine off either. I'm gonna stop eating before I cut my lights off.
They're not coming to inspect.
Oh, no, they're not coming
coming to inspect. But if that happens, then it will trigger an inspection.
If you refuse to allow inspection, then that would be contemplated and has to be moved out.
We have a comment, public comment on the floor, question?
Yeah, I have a question. These inspections, who's paying for them? Is it the town or the person who owns them?
I'm wanting to move it in, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Mike, I do have a question to kind of answer what Ms. Letty asked, the second part of her question. What about the lucky ones that are there, people are living in it, the RVs, the campers?
Those are RVs and campers, pre-existing.
Yes.
And that existed prior, are subject to inspection. Those have to be permitted. Those people are gonna have to apply for a permit. And they're gonna have to inspect. I think that if I recollect, there were going to be, there is a provision to, not require the payment for a permit on the pre-existing. They're subject to inspection, and you have to issue the temporary variance permit. But if they're pre-existing the ordinance adoption, they're not paying for the permit. New ones are gonna have to pay for inspection
And that's
and permit.
campers too?
Campers and RVs.
Yes.
And RV, okay.
You know,
No, honest.
I call them camping trailers, some people call them campers, some people call them motorhomes.
So when they
Some people
come,
call them homes.
so when they come in to get the permit,
Two, my new one or pre-existing?
the pre-existing,
Yes, ma'am.
when they come in to get a permit,
Yes, ma'am.
then what happens? The town issues them a permit depending upon
It gets
the
inspected,
inspection?
it gets inspected.
They would have to look at it.
And if it passes inspection, they can only live in it temporary, 6 months.
It's a 6 month,
Yeah, yeah.
From the time of the issue of the
6 month
permit.
variance unless there is an extenuating
And
circumstance,
that's come back to
which
the
he has three.
council and request an extension.
So they have to
Subject
go
to
back
renewal
to
every 6 months.
Okay.
These are not considered to be permanent dwellings. So if you're going to live in a temporary dwelling and you're gonna do it, let's say, and then we didn't put a limitation on how many times the variance permit could be renewed. As long as it's passing inspection, that's the catch. The catch is, if it's, as long as it's not substandard, then we're going to, you have an opportunity to renew the variance, assuming you can show all the other factors.
And they could only have one on the property, is that what I
Yes,
read?
ma'am.
And the thing-
One.
And the one that you're probably thinking about, the health inspector has already been out there and told them that they're going to have to remove those
Yeah, Mr.
other.
Mike told me that.
Not only one camper RV, but only one structure, so you can't have, if I have a brick home, I can't have someone living in an RV also on that same lot or parcel. One dwelling per lot or parcel, as in most of the property has been subdivided into lots, but I imagine there are also more rural areas uptown where I would prefer, instead of a lot that's been subdivided, a parcel, right? That doesn't keep them from later subdividing that parcel. If you have a 3-acre piece, I guess you could subdivide it, make lots, but if you do that, then one dwelling per lot. Whether that be an RV, or whether that be a brick home, or whether that be a mobile home, or what have you. That becomes a safety and fire issue. And then you wanna have you want it to be standardized as far as the aesthetic of town. You don't want, one lot having 6 campers on it. That's called an RV or RV park, and that needs to be something separate.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
No problem.
Is there any more public comment on the motion to accept amendments to previously introduced mobile home regulations and inspection, manufactured house trailers, manufactured houses in the town of Elton? So I now need a second on that motion to accept.
A second.
I have a, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
I introduced the second part, number 14, I would like to introduce to adopt the said ordinance as amended.
A motion to adopt.
A motion to adopt the ordinance as amended. We will need a roll call vote on that. I need a second.
I second it.
I have a second by Kim, all in favor?
Still
Roll call
roll
vote,
call, sorry.
Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Councilman Tony Gilbert.
Yep.
Councilwoman Kim Thibodeau.
Yes.
Councilwoman Erica Francis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Trudy Patterson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kay Aben.
Yes. Motion is carried.
Let the record reflect.
Ordinance has been voted to be adopted. Madam Clerk, please present that to the mayor for his signature.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Moving on to number 15, basically a resolution to put some of our excess vehicles and a copier on the market for sale. One of them being a 300W copier, a Chevy double cab truck with the VIN number attached, and a Tahoe VIN number, a sport utility vehicle that we'd like to list with the mats.
Need a motion to pass the resolution to declare those surplus, all 3 of those surplus.
I make a motion to pass the resolution to declare that as surplus for that. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay.
Mayor, just, remind you need to, dispose of those in accordance with the law, and that you can use your mask.
Okay, number 16 is grant updates. I think the mayor pretty well covered it. The demolition grant, we have finally received everything that we need on the demolition grant. We have sent out bid letters. They have 15 days. August the 15th, the bid letters have to be in this office by 4 p.m. And then we'll take a look at those packets and convene and see who's going to get that bid, and that'll be something that we'll take care of at the next special meeting.
So the expectation is probably we're mid-August to get the bids back. So hopefully by the end of August or 1st of September, we should be able to start that process of tearing those houses down. So I'm excited about that.
Should be a relatively quick
Dog pound,
process.
you wanna mention dog pound?
Dog pound, have we received the money for that? We have applied for the money, all the paperwork is done. We've applied for them to go ahead and give us the first portion of money, because with the grants, they only do it in like draws, I guess would be percentages. So we've applied for the first portion of the dog pound money.
Yeah. Bruce did receive a grant from the state for a police vehicle. It was actually purchased, about 2-3 weeks ago, Bruce? 2 months ago. So basically that vehicle was paid for by the state via grant.
And it looks fine. That nice little Charger. Parks and Dress.
Basically, recently we held Kay and actually Sandra's attended the LMA conference in Lake Charles, and maybe just highlight some of the things you picked up out of how to put that convention, Sandra's.
All right, it was very, very informative. I had a class with ethics, also had a class with the Louisiana Legislative Arbiter, and another class that said how important it is to have policy and procedure. But with the Legislative Arbiter, what he talked about was how the water utility fund is to be treated like a public business. This is taxpayers' money, and so you cannot donate taxpayers' money. You have to charge what you charge, you have to get paid, because water rates too go against how the water fund is managed. You cannot show a loss. So when, and not to step on toes, but if we adjust your water bill, we're gonna pay for it. So if we adjust your late fee, we're gonna pay for it, because we cannot show a loss. He said how very important it is to see that you have to run it like a business. So that's why we are doing what we're supposed to do. We're cutting people off, we're collecting, because by law, that's what we have to do.
So if we adjust the late fee, that is considered an ethics violation. If we
Yes.
do any adjustment on the water bill, that is considered an
It has to
ethics
be an
violation.
error on our part, our defective equipment for you to be able to justify it. It has to be in
And we have to
writing.
be able to pay it without moving money, like we had to do this month. We had to move money to pay our water bill, which is stupid, to me.
So going back to the rate studies, we were required to do a rate study because we had a grant. And then so each year, like next year, we're gonna do a rate study, and it's gonna be with LWRA. This rate study was everything done in 2024. This next study is gonna be reflecting how it's managed for 2025.
And just, there was a question asked, this is a part of what I picked up too from the legislative auditor, not necessarily this year, but prior. You asked the question, well, we did a rate study and we had to raise rates, and they said you need to raise this much, but now here we are 2 or 3 years later and we have to raise again.
At 20% at a time.
What that is based on though is they look at what expenses you have in your system. So I suspect, I don't know anything about the rate study, they look at the numbers. I suspect that there were some expenses that were booked in the system between the last rate study and this rate study that suggested that the expenses that the system is incurring are greater than they anticipated when they did the rate study, and you said they did a rate study in 2023, that would have been based on historical information. I don't know what years, but
22.
you do a rate study based on historical numbers. So I would point that out. And I'd also point out one other thing, in the mayor's court class that I attended at LMA this year, they reminded us that year before last, the legislature amended law with respect to mayor's court, really does only have a criminal jurisdiction. There's one exception to that, and in a mayor's court, the town can sue to collect past due utility bills. So you don't have to send that to the justice of the peace court or to the district court. And there's jurisdiction, I think, if I'm not mistaken, up to $5,000 for unpaid or delinquent utility bills that can be brought in the mayor's court. And so if we ever have to do that, if we would have to get to a point of filing suit, hopefully you wouldn't have to, but if you did, that could be brought in the mayor's court. The city attorney would file a civil suit in the mayor's court, and it'd be handled that way.
Well, what we're currently working on, and I spoke with them again, was, I think Bruce had brought it up, that Louisiana debt recovery. And that's who we're working with to recover these past due bills that haven't been paid. And he is correct, it does go on expenses, but if people aren't paying their bills, we're adjusting, and I'm just saying, if bills are adjusted, if people aren't paying their bills, if we're not collecting, that's a big problem, and that causes issues.
And the thing about that is, the next month they have another water bill. So you know what I'm saying? They're just adding to the problem instead of.
And we're not doing that. I mean, you pay your bill, we give you the bill, you pay your bill, you don't pay your bill, you get cut off.
Yeah.
And we don't like to do that, but we are required to do that.
Yes.
One of the things we moved forward on, though, is just a few months ago, we had like 134 that weren't paying, and then, we really stepped up, and then it went down to like 112, and then it went down dramatically to like in the 60, and now we're like, what were we just 22 this month. So the effects of putting some teeth in the ordinance said in the policy that says we're going to have this late fee, we're going to cut you off on this date, you're going to pay the extra $50. It really is being effective, as far as us being able to collect.
We've come a long way in that respect.
It is.
Each month, as we proceed, there's fewer people that have to get cut off, and there is hardships occasionally, and we try to address those as they come up.
So I went to the class, the biggest class I took that I was excited about was the grants class. And there is money out there, folks. I'm talking about $2 million of money out there. They can help us with the grant. I spoke with the lady that stopped our last grant. I met her in person. And of course, the reason that our last infrastructure grant was stopped in its tracks was because we had the IRS problem. And until we are off of the IRS radar, until we have a repayment plan, she told me that we can actually have a repayment plan, and that would remove us from the IRS radar, and then we can begin to apply for grants again. All kinds of grants. Jeff Davis Parish received a $400,000 grant this past year. And so that was a big boost to Jeff Davis Parish. I'd sure like to get us something like that for the town of Elton. It was very, very
if all of you were here at the last meeting, we had Mark Abraham attend and Troy Romero. There is some money available for park and recreation, but what they want us to provide is a sustainability piece prior to us getting it, which makes sense, And all of the grants are that way now. If you can't, whatever they give you, if you can't take care of it, they don't want to give it to you, which makes sense.
Are we still in trouble with the IRS?
Basically, we're waiting. We did a
We are
abatement request. We are currently paid $941.
Yes, we are.
He answered it, he said yes.
Yes. So we have a,
That's all I need to
we
know.
have a request in for leniency.
You don't want to be in trouble with the IRS.
No.
No.
Mike, you had a question, you look like you were stunned with.
I do, but I'm waiting till the end. I'll let you finish up.
What's that?
I just want to make an address to everyone. I moved to this town 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
The third day I was in town, my property flooded, which everyone knows. As of the last storm, my property flooded again. When is the town going to do something about cleaning the drains, digging the ditches, and getting all of this water out of this town?
I've been here, Mike, for 74 years. We've had that problem for as long as I've lived here, 74 years. There's some flooding that's occurred. We just had an issue with the rice field farmer. All of his crops drain north. He's on a hill. Whenever he lets the water out of the field, it's going to flood part of our community, period. Whether he lets it out slow or not, when we get big rains. I could go back and probably criticize the engineers when the town was first developed. There are areas here that always have had a problem draining. You shouldn't, because you're on a hill. You know, the water's got to go right or left, and it probably goes right for you if I'm correct.
It goes to you.
My dad, for years, had to take his shovel occasionally and go 4 or 5 blocks and clean those ditches to keep his ditch drained. We're probably gonna have to do something like that at the moment, because I have one man that's doing all of the work in town.
Right.
And that's the way it is until we get revenue generated in this town, unfortunately. That's not a good answer to give you, but that's accurate.
And when we get off the IRS radar, there are infrastructure grants that can assist with that kind of thing, that can come in here. There's stuff that can come in here and just redo all of that for us. So, it's expensive, but first things first. And we
I
didn't
understand.
know there was a problem, but now that we know that there's a problem, we're facing the problem.
This council's been on for 4.5 years.
No, not about your flooding, we're talking about problem with
Problem
some issues with the IRS.
And I will back the mayor up in saying, I've lived where I'm living right there, I've been there 35 to 40 years, 35. And that ditch was never dug, never, until your son and Mr. Ken came and dug it, because I was so flooded up, and that was because they had to get in the road and they had to dig up that part of the road. Was that a water main that's there? But 2 times taking all that out and throwing all that over there, and so every time they did that, there was just it just needed more work. So in 35 years that got done, and that had to be done by hand. So until we get somebody.
But you would think after 28 loads of dirt in my yard, I wouldn't flood. But I still flood. It's a shame that after 4.5 years, anytime a big rain shower or thunderstorm comes through, I can't walk in my yard for 3 or 4 days. I can't get to my shed for 3 or 4 days because it's nothing but mud and slop.
And then you can't cut the grass for at least 2 weeks until it dries.
Recognize Mr. Miller.
I have to say
Mr. Miller.
Elder?
How much longer are we gonna have issue with the IRS? You mentioned it, so I
It's
mean.
very simple. We're waiting on them at present.
Okay,
We are waiting for one of 2 things. Give us an abatement, reduce some of the penalties if possible. If not, tell us how much we can pay you a month. And that's the end of it.
What was the total again?
Well, the
We don't
penalty
have
is
to-
over 100,000.
so we're looking at a
But
couple
how
of
much
months?
do we have to pay them? Like, how
A
much?
couple of months to get an answer from them.
Yeah.
With the IRS, it could be 6 months.
It could be a year. This is the IRS we talk about. They still go back on people from
I will
2019.
tell you that the 941s were behind by 2 years. So you figure every employee's 941 for 2 years, and that's how much money we had to pay. But the clerk, make sure that I understand this correctly, Madam Clerk. You do have a call with the IRS every single week to see where this is, where
This
they
has
are.
been going on for 3 months.
I
We've been.
called it this morning, because usually every Wednesday I want to call. This Wednesday I called at 7 o'clock when I get here. She said they have not received the paperwork we sent, which we sent it priority July 24th. So once they receive it, then they have to put it in the system, and then they have to process it.
Sandra.
So she said give 3 weeks for them to receive it.
Yeah, Sandra, one quick question. What was the initial total on our payback or delinquent for 2 years with the, 941?
The interest and penalties was $130.
How much
No,
was
but
the
how
bill?
much did we not, we collected the money, but we didn't send their.
How much do we have to pay?
Yeah, how much?
89.41.
Oh, wow.
180,000 or 200?
I wanna say it was something like, it was over $200,000. I wanna say it was like $260,000 to $275,000.
So we get penalties for not filing, we get penalties for not paying, and that's every quarter.
And those penalties are compounded interest.
So we're waiting on this.
So this been since 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
So you wasn't mad? So this been since,
Basically, what happened in the past is immaterial. We're having.
so you having to cover up what they did
That's
in
it,
the
on
past?
everything, and
Mr.
I'm
Mike
good with
just
that.
stepped in.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying, that I want to understand that it's been 2 years ago that this happened, this was not on mine. It's been.
There's been a lot of things, and I don't want to put the blame on the past of anything. Basically, now we're suffering from things that weren't done correctly.
And the clerk didn't take care of, and, but it needs
The
to
clerk
be.
and the man. All of them. They were
And when the clerk, when these people were the council, and I've asked this before, but when these people were the council, they had blind faith that everything was done correctly. So they didn't ask those questions.
We didn't
Because
have,
they trusted and they had blind faith. So
We're waiting
this
on.
was
Right here.
sort of looking.
Right, is that the reason why the town is out of money? Nope.
No, that's not the reason the town.
No.
well, we've had to
Talking about-
spend a lot to catch
Right,
up on
that's
stuff,
what I mean.
like
But
Empress
just
and
give you
this
two,
and
I'll
stuff
give you
like
two
that.
quick examples. We spent probably $150,000 to $180,000 on a legislative audit. It should have cost $30,000
Right,
because we couldn't find anything.
okay.
It took them a year to complete an audit for the past year, which should have taken 30 days, 60 days.
Not only did you have to do an audit, but you had to do a reconciliation because previous clerks
Didn't
didn't
do bank
reconcile the books.
reconciliation.
The bills weren't being paid, we couldn't even order stuff, so she had to pay a lot of
I
money.
did, the
Yes,
last
it is
time I
previous
was here
administration.
was the last time there were bank recs
When
done,
was that, Sandra?
2 years ago.
2022.
Yeah.
So no, there were no bank reconciliations since the last time that she worked in 2022.
Nobody bounced the book for 2 years.
Well, the reason why I asked is because y'all keep talking about grants, but y'all can't quite get them yet because of the IRS and 941.
Some grants.
Right.
They require you to be clean with the,
Right.
with the government prior to
So,
giving you any money or
Under
grants.
that information, it seems like the town has very little funds.
What item is this again?
I'm sorry. It's not, it's not.
This is item number 17, we were discussing, we
17,
started off
discussing.
discussing what we just learned at LMA, and that's how we got into this.
It was an involved conversation.
Yeah.
We're just trying to give them a little history on, I
I
guess,
understand.
how we got where we are, if that makes sense. Any other question? I think somebody has a question. No?
But I can say we paid a lot of penalties and a lot of back stuff. Sandres can admit to that from the previous clerk. Because things weren't caught up, things weren't paid, and nothing's been done though. How do you collect somebody's 940 taxes out of their checks? Where's that money that was in that account, but then they're, just show me a balance.
Just to be clear, there's no money, as I read it, there's no money owed on the 941 coupon. That's been paid.
Well, but that's my point,
Has to
but
do
it
with
was
the-
not paid though for 2 years.
It has to do with the
Let's
time,
talk
that
about
the timeliness of it.
Why is that now
The
down
time.
the rest of the notice?
Yes, so that means the clerk was taking the money out of their checks, but wasn't sending it in. So we have to suffer now, but where's that money that was collected? Say she collected $1,000, but where's that 1,000 left in an account for us to send?
No, it was, that's been paid, that's what I'm saying.
No,
That,
it was not paid.
yes, ma'am, it was paid.
It's not timely, but not timely. So where was that money? Can we account for all that money? It was all there, then we shouldn't be in a predicament that we're in.
The IRS is interest and penalties.
I understand, but I'm saying, I'm taking your money out of your, there's people still that I talk to on the street that can't even get their income tax.
still, because
That's
it's
because at this point, the
941.
IRS had completed.
But it goes back to previous clerk, and it goes back to.
Previous
They need to be,
administration also.
and they need to be.
And they unemployment. They can't,
And they need to be
Yeah,
kind of
and
smart enough.
we sit up here and we know all this, but we don't push the problem forward, like.
They got to push this problem forward.
That's
Well,
my
the only
problem.
thing that's in our power to push the problem forward was A, to pay the 941s, which we did.
We do that.
B, to pay all the bills that we were behind,
Yes.
which we did.
So, but where's the clerk in this? That didn't do it. Where is she?
Where's the previous administration?
Now, we're not gonna act dumb up here, cause we're.
Well,
Yeah,
we can't change any of that.
We can't,
But
but
what
we
I
can.
can say is this council has moved forward,
We have.
and thank God for that. And of course, there's still a lot of frustration.
But you look into stuff all the time, cause you tell me you find
Mhm. I
stuff
look
still
at it
that's
all the
crooked.
time.
So, when is all
There's
that?
got to be some
How
kind
long
of
is it-
charge on them.
How long?
Yeah, they don't have
stay
to charge
like
against
this?
them because, I mean, yeah.
How long is the town gonna stay like this?
What do you mean, give me an example?
Broke.
How long is it until the revenues start being generated?
See,
That's
and you
part
gotta
of the
realize we lost
process.
Kashada, and Kashada should have never been in our budget.
No.
So,
Should've
when
never
It should
been
have
in
been
our
used as-
budget, but it
When
was.
Kashada took the money, I said as a council member, we need to adjust the budget, we need to have the, no, we don't. I was the dummy, I was the smarty pants. We needed to adjust the budget, because we do use that money for stuff.
Right.
We do, and
So it's watching, it's getting more revenue, but watching expenses, you have to combine
That's right.
both.
There's two
All
things.
do one without the other.
Do we want to remain as it is? No. There's revenues, pieces that are being put in place as we speak. There's permit fees, never had that before here. Not a lot of money, but the little things are gonna add up and help us. Every little thing we put into place.
But my thing is, Mike, like the clerk, look like the state ought to go behind her and make her, say what she did with this money.
There was no money that I'm aware of that was stolen or
It was misplaced.
It was misplaced,
it
but
was
she.
misplaced and didn't handle properly of paying our
But
bills, period.
she should, they should look like the state ought to step in and say, hey,
Well,
you
where's
need
the
to show,
That is part of the audit.
show where the money
We
went.
were, there is, you can go on our website and look at the audits that were done. The things that we haven't corrected, they're in there, and why? So those statements that have been made.
but you gotta know the auditor only does what he wants to do, because I called him myself and I said, how did you not find the
Yeah.
941s? And he was like, well, I'm only looking for certain things. Sir, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Well, we could not afford what they need to do probably, it would cost us, we spent
Remember, we
$100.
talked about that, Mr. Trudy,
Yeah.
that he didn't find it. Now, how did he not find that, if he's a good auditor?
Just random selection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at sampling.
I would like to call attention to the fact also, though, it seems like we're just talking about the previous administration. But because I have been looking at all of the previous administrations, there are a lot of those audit reports that I have read, that they had things that they said should be in place, and all of those corrections were never in place for years.
And those
So
are public
this is,
record. You can look
this
at
is
that
a
online.
snowball effect.
If you go back
And
to-
granted, it was really bad, but the town, it appears from everything that I've seen, it appears that we depended blindly
Yes.
on the money that Kashada gave us.
That's right.
That's-
And didn't even worry about anything, and you don't miss the
That's right.
cow till the milk runs
That's
dry.
right.
Then you realize the condition of the
For
cow.
26 years, we received between $800 and $1 million a year.
What?
When you're receiving that much
And you don't have
money,
nothing to show for it?
Thank you.
do we have anything?
To show for
Do
it?
you see anything?
That's what we saying.
That's what we're saying, there was never anything.
So I wonder, where was the money spent? What was it spent on? It sure wasn't spent on the town.
Yeah, it was still on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
How?
Wasted, probably.
It was spent on the town.
Spent on library.
If you go back and look at the audits
you
from
give
6,
Mike a microphone.
one other comment I'll get on.
Okay, I want to
If
hear
you
my
go back and
part.
look at the last 6 or 7 audits, years, you'll see that the same problems were listed year after year and never were totally rectified.
But Kashada was giving us money for 23 years,
Longer than that,
so we need to go way back.
you know.
But.
Maybe to Mildred LaFleur.
So we do have 941 issues. Well, St. Chris has something to say.
We had that plaque up there when the first one was given. I
St.
forgot what the
Chris,
check was.
St. Chris has something.
Look at
2001. $100,000.
Well, Miss Andres just said,
I bought the side.
Miss Andres just said this, she's our new clerk, thank God. She just said the 941s were always paid though.
Before, but the previous,
Yeah.
before this is me, previous.
So she's saying
I'm not
that's.
talking specifically about it.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Let's put the mistakes behind us and move forward. I wanna go home.
All right, moving on.
Let's hear from Bruce. Bruce, what you got to
We're gonna have a report
say?
there in just a minute.
What you got to
Yeah,
say,
we got a
Bruce?
couple of things.
You're on 18
We're
there.
on 18, basically, I spoke with Tony. Tony's done a great job for us in the role of Mayor Pro Tem for how long, Tony?
I don't even know.
Since 2011.
All this trouble.
And I want to thank you. I want to thank
Long
you.
time.
Every now and then I'd like to get away from here. He's been in and out of the doctor's office. I want to, I guess, ask the council, because it would be their recommendation and voting, that we appoint K.A. Bear. She's been nonstop here for 6 months, probably worked, I don't know how many hundreds of hours to help us catch up in this town. And I guess my heart and soul, sometimes she gets where she can be a little overpowering at times, but she's done a wealth of things for this town and helped get us back on track in regards to the reports that were never filed, to grant work. So I'm totally indebted to her, and I would like to ask the council to consider her as Mayor Pro Tem at this time. There's no money, unfortunately, involved. But yes, Tony, if you're in agreement, you would need to probably, how would we handle that, Mike, if the council is in favor?
If Tony wants to give up the position, he can let the council know, and then, he can do that, and the council can then
Select
appoint,
someone.
select somebody else. I mean, the council at any time could change Mayor Pro Tem. I mean, it's purely the council's decision.
Okay.
You probably wouldn't do it unless Tony says, yeah, let me wrap that up and.
Well, I had
let
spoken
someone
to
else
Tony,
do it.
I didn't want to,
Yeah, I'm good with that. Man, I gotta say, I think Miss Kay would be a good person. She lives here.
Yes.
She's in the business, in the papers. She does research really well. I think she would be good.
You've carried it for a really long time. I don't even remember when you were appointed, but I know it was really early on when you came on board.
He's probably in 16. Yeah, just then.
He came in with me 2011.
But he wasn't Mayor Pro Tem.
No, not Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah.
Just till 2023.
Yeah, you were never Mayor Pro Tem.
all right.
Yeah. Who put you in Mayor Pro Tem?
He was Mayor Pro Tem when Kathy was here.
Oh,
Yes, that's
so
right.
you might have been 8 years.
Way back.
Well, I thank you for your service.
I need a motion, but you need to make a motion.
I think it'd be appropriate for Tony to make a motion,
Yeah.
since he's currently serving, and that would signify his,
To
willingness.
appoint Miss Kay.
Yeah.
I make a motion we appoint Miss Kay as a new Mayor Pro Tem.
I second.
Is that a roll call?
no.
All in favor?
Wait, Mike.
I'm sorry,
You guys stuff.
all in favor, said we had a unanimous on that, thank you. Thank you for your service in that role. Okay, moving on.
19.
Number 19, police report.
Okay. One thing I would like to do is remove my name off the special detail account.
I think I'm gonna have that, I think we made a note of that, Bruce.
We need to put in the minutes so that the bank.
We
said
all,
has to be in the
that's part of,
We need a motion.
Make a
I need to add
motion.
that to the agenda, Mike.
The
The bank needs a minute.
The bank will want to see a resolution or, an extract of the minutes that shows the council voted to, remove, Bruce Lemelle as chief from the signatory on the special detail account.
Can we introduce that
You
resolution?
don't, you just do it now.
Let's do
I,
it.
I make a resolution that as Chief Lemelle has requested, we remove his name off of the account at the bank under the special detail account.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Today, people, I was approached by the mayor and Ms. Kay that I would have to lay all my police officers and dispatchers off because they said I spent over $317,000 since January to now. Ask me where it's at, I don't know. Okay. So, they, police department gonna be closed. I'm the only one gonna be working. They gave me a 25, in the 2025 budget, proposal budget. And I keep saying, I keep asking y'all about the $30,000 new vehicle. The $30,000 was added into my budget, but there's a grant from the state.
She can answer, she'll
So-
answer that, Bruce.
If it's added into my budget, where is the $30,000? Because I see I went over $24.62.
Yes.
Call
Okay.
Martin, get
I see that.
Okay? So, if that's a grant from my state representative, why is it in the budget? That's added. Another thing is supplemental pay. Supplemental pay comes from the state. Before the municipalities got it, the state sent direct deposit to your bank. So it wasn't added to my budget. So now, supplemental pay is $28,800 is added to the budget. So you take away the $30,000 and the 28, that leaves with $258,357. Instead of the $317. Now I know our biggest expenditures is the police retirement. I guess when the police retirement came in, that's what kind of set us back a little bit. Okay, salaries, $155,000. I only had 3 officers, dispatchers, 2 dispatchers, 3 officers. I mean, but that goes back to January, so I had 4 and 4. Just say I had 4 and 4. Well, 4 dispatchers, 3, because Chris Young left a long time ago, December. So 3 officers, and I know I'm on salary, so I'm not getting paid extra. So I was about $155,000. I mean, and I know, and yes, well, and then another thing.
You're in a deficit of 12.
What it is, I got like $12,000 left to end me till December, and the $12,000 is the general fund. So tickets and fines goes to where? The general fund. Who gets paid out of the general fund? Who else? Police? Who else?
You can answer that.
I mean, have somebody's salary come out? Is your half of your salary come out of the general fund? Who? I don't know.
I don't even have the.
Here, I have one.
Okay.
So, I'll let you talk.
Do you want
Yes,
to?
sir, you good.
Yeah, I have that.
You good.
Okay, well, first of all, the 30,000 has to be represented. This is governmental accounting, so those have to be shown. So if you look at it, it is, the 30,000 is put in and it's taken out. So really, the 2462 is really what's against your budget. In fact, it's a little bit more because we paid, Greg that $800. And then I think we
I think his
did.
question though, Senator, is
why
why was it added, the 30 had to be added to the budget?
Because that's
has to be.
required. You call the auditor, legislative auditor too. It has to be reflected. And the same thing with supplement. So those are washouts, but we have to show it. And then of course I show it as we use it right here. Now, if you look to right here, you talked about the supplemental pay. So supplemental pay is put in as a state source. And then the 30,000 is put in, with grants. So it's shown as revenues and then it canceled out with the expenses. So it doesn't really reflect, but it has to be shown on paper like it is.
So it makes it look like my budget is overspent with 30,000 and supplemental pay is added into the budget.
Well, it.
So what, okay, I'll say this.
Okay.
When supplemental pay was sent us direct deposit, it wasn't added in the budget.
Okay.
I
Now,
understand.
I don't know what previous
So now,
did.
they say, we gonna send the municipalities and they gonna pay y'all. So if y'all add it to the budget, so supplemental pay money is where? Because it's added in our budget.
It's added and then it's taken
And
out.
it's expended.
It's
Right,
expended.
yeah.
Dividend credit.
Now also,
But what I'm saying is, it's looking like I spent the money, the 30,000 and the 28 in my budget, I understand. But the way it's recorded here, it's all added up together. So, but that's what we had people. They say, I don't have enough money, I have to lay the police department down, lay them off, the dispatchers. Don't ask me what we're gonna do with our police officers.
What's that, Ham?
Right? So, what's the time to do now?
Wait for the sheriff's department? Okay,
That
and
means-
the sheriff's department's gonna take you 20, 30 minutes, because like they say, they only got 4 deputies
45.
to patrol the whole parish.
Because it depends on where they're coming
Well,
from.
we'll
Even
have
if
a
one officer
full-time
shit,
deputy
it's
because Bruce is
Right.
full-time.
Well,
He
so-
doesn't have to work, but he is an elected official, so
4
he
times,
is.
24 hours?
No, I'm just saying, we do have somebody in town, I'm just saying.
Okay, so.
Yeah, but he has life too, he goes on.
I agree, but I'm saying,
He
they're
can't
saying
do
we
this
won't
all the
have.
time.
No, I agree, we'll have them in
Well,
if they, I don't know what to
The
say.
chief has
Okay,
no
let's-
set hours. The
One
chief
at a
has no
time.
set hours, no set hours.
Yeah.
So if I come in, do 8, 12, 8 today, 8 tomorrow, and take off the whole month, I have no set hours. So I can't work. I worked a lot, try to keep the doors open. Each month I say, hey, I need to hire off. Oh, we don't have it. You need to lay some dispatchers off. Lay them off, no officers. Okay? Now, you don't have no money, you have to shut them down.
We knew in June of 2024, when it became very apparent that we had serious financial issues. The council met and we discussed the laying off or the downsizing, because we, as a council, do not have the ability to lay off your people according to the Larson Act. You're in charge of that.
Well,
And you can run your budget, any kind of way
We
you
can't
want,
force you to
but
do
you
anything.
Well, I
have
don't wanna lay them
run,
off. It's
you
still
have
working.
run the
It's
budget
still working.
until there is no money.
So,
And as of tonight, we don't have the money to pay them as of tonight.
alright, so look, to be fair to you, I did the math, alright? I took off that $58,800 off your proposed budget, alright? It turned it into $258,357. I also took $58,800 off of your current expenditures. So to match, it still comes out to $12,185.71. So even if you took that out of your budget, you still only have $12,000.
It washes it, you know what I'm saying, Bruce? It just-
What my budget was, 300,000, that was, that was way too much.
317,157.
We know it's low, but we're operating on.
That number was based on,
My budget used to be 400,000.
That was an austerity budget, when we
And we
did
had
it, we
these
stated that it
jobs.
was an austerity budget. It was for you and one officer and one dispatcher. And so that's what happened when we put into place this austerity budget. Previous to the austerity budget, a year ago, we asked you to downsize, you said you would, then you didn't. Then we made a resolution and enacted a resolution to not add any more officers, to not have any overtime, anything extra.
Yeah, there
And
was
then, after that resolution, we still had overtime. And then you came back to us and said, look, my man on overtime is burnt out, I don't have anybody, please give me a part-time officer. 2 council members, because we had the resolution and because we were facing such serious cuts, 2 council members voted no, 2 council members voted yes, and I had to be the swing vote. And I wanted to vote no because I knew how bad the finances were, but because these officers had given, I voted yes to go against the resolution that I had helped to draft so that we would not be facing what we're facing now. And then still after that, we had more overtime. So all of that, I've said all of that to say it has been a steady ladder to the place that we are now.
So when a person would take off and you're only shorthanded, I'm already working this shift. You got 1 on vacation, 1 already off. So what happens? Just let
You do the same thing that we're doing right now. You work under an austerity budget with the money that's there, and morally, morally, legally, we don't have the money because there's no money in the budget to pay the officers that have worked since the last payroll. We don't have that, and legally, according to Larson, it states that. But morally, we're going to do the right thing, and we are a council with integrity. I want us to pay those officers because they worked in good faith. We want to pay them, but we don't have any other monies. And that breaks my heart too.
And basically, we sent a letter requesting you respond to the mayor and council, Bruce, for an alternative plan. And I know it's hard to make a plan, we ain't got no money, but we need to, as a council and a team and you, I wanna see it succeed and continue. But right now, we just do not have the money to fund it, unfortunately. And that's not something.
I wish y'all gave us heads up.
Well,
He's your leader.
That's not me.
We did not have the authority.
We did notify him.
And the two of y'all have been in council meetings before.
Yes.
So y'all know the situation.
It's not like we slap him though with it, cause he runs the department, so that, from what I understand, they
We are not, according to Larson, we are not, as a council, the only thing we can do is set the budget. The police chief, the chief of police, of an elected official, according to Larson, is the head, and he is responsible for the budget. He is responsible for the hiring and the firing. He has to bring a hire or a resignation to us and let us accept it. But as the Larson Act is, and he is also required, when he is within 5% of exceeding his budget, he is required to notify the council. That did not happen. We have been staying on top of this. That's the only reason why we're able to stop it right now. And he is required, according to the Larson Act, to put a plan in writing, and we don't have that either. So this is the only thing we can do. Don't want to lay off the officers.
No.
I know that you have bills to pay. I know that. I know you have grandchildren you want to buy some. I know that you have to eat. You have a house note, you have a car note, you've got to pay insurance. I know
It's not just
that.
that, I mean, I've been here almost a total of 10 years.
Wow.
I mean, this is my home. I mean,
I
I know
know.
my job.
You never got paid what you were worth.
No.
No, when
Never.
I got made assistant chief, I denied the pay raise to add an officer on.
Yeah.
So, but this is where we
I'm
are.
I'm worth way more than $16 an hour.
I know that, and I
Oh,
agree with you.
exactly.
And she's been here 12, almost 13 years.
I know that.
$13.
Before Kuma died, he was here 14 years.
Yeah.
We gave dedication to this town.
I know.
Yeah.
I have one thing to say. Y'all letting off these officers that we need. Y'all 4 councilors up there. Why don't y'all let two of y'all councilors go, wait, let me finish talking. You got 4 people working in the city hall. Why don't y'all let 2 of them go when Miss Kathy, Tony, and Miss Melanie LaFleur? It was the mayor and the clerk.
Yeah.
Now it's 4 people. It's the mayor, the clerk. I don't know what
She's the clerk.
Okay,
She's the clerk.
and the one that paid the bill, and you got Doris. You got 4 people. So why y'all can't eliminate one of them?
One of them.
One of them, and 1 or 2 of y'all to keep at least another officer. Instead of y'all putting this all on the police chief. The police chiefs have a life just like y'all have a life, but y'all putting everything on him. So
we're elected. We're elected to.
Okay,
do
but
that.
okay, but y'all can make that. Okay, he's elected. So if he decides to say, well, I'll give up the police chief, I'll give up chief, now what's gonna happen? Nothing in him. No cop. So what you gonna do?
I'm not gonna give it up because people have to let.
I understand that, bro. I understand that. But if you get sick,
I'm not gonna worry about
if you get sick though, who's gonna take it? Who's gonna take over if you get
When
sick?
nobody's there, the call goes to 911, sheriff department picks it up, the sheriff department contract out, and they're not gonna do it.
Sheriff Department, we cannot enter into a contract with the Sheriff's Department. When we started having these issues, we had a discussion, and part of that discussion was what would happen if you downsized by 2 deputies. We could contract with the Sheriff's Department. We did contact the Sheriff's Department. It would cost us $64,000 per officer, and for that same money, we were paying these officers and these dispatchers. And so we could not enter, we did not have the finances to enter into a contract. We still do not have them. If we had the finances, we would not be having this
This is
discussion
precedent, right.
for y'all. For somebody that's given their life, that has made their career right here in Elton and given service to Elton, to the people of Elton, that built your life here. We wouldn't be having this conversation if we had the money. But right now, we do not have the money.
I have a question, and I guess I'm gonna direct my question to you, Jim. Nick, okay. So now that the sheriff's department has to answer calls, what is that gonna do for the town? Like, are we gonna receive a bill for that, or is that part of their?
If we receive a call, you're just gonna have to expect longer wait times.
Okay.
So, I
But we
mean,
won't be charged for them coming here.
no, but we are not going to have a person here
Yeah.
24/7.
Correct.
Will not happen. Because we have Lackasine, Hathaway, all these rural areas, Topsy.
You put
for example,
highlights out there.
that, and we cannot,
But do you stage people over there?
no.
No.
No, they patrol.
We have
Just a
zones.
constant patrol?
We have 4 zones, and you have a deputy, you have one deputy covering 2 zones, and then one on the other 2, and then your lieutenant will run. That's how we operate. So we cannot have zone 4, or zone 2, which is what Elton is included in, is Elton, Hathaway, all the way across. Touch it almost to Fenton.
Almost to Fenton.
So that's this zone. So I mean, there's a lot of area to cover. So we are willing to help in the ways we can, but we can tell you not to expect, dedicate, we just can't afford to do that.
Because if they're on the call, and it's more mandatory than the call that we have right here, they're just not gonna show up for a long time, it's gonna be a long week.
Didn't you tell us one time, Officer Chris, that y'all had, the SO, I'm sorry, Nick, I always call you Chris, I'm sorry, that y'all had almost 1,000 miles to cover?
650 square miles. So again, we're more than happy to help in the ways we can.
Yeah.
We do have deputies that patrol in city limits. We make traffic stops, we make arrests here. But, we cannot prioritize a simple call when there's a burglary in progress or something of that nature. We just can't guarantee that.
They're not trying to kill us before y'all get over here.
Right.
You got the right to own a gun.
Okay.
Kill them. I just assume they
It's
about
two
to touch.
separate entities, right? The police department and you. Okay, who gives him his budget?
The council too.
The council. Y'all have given him all the money?
$300,000.
Okay, and who is supposed to take care of that money? So then you're fussing at the wrong people. They didn't set up y'all's police budget, your police chief did.
They set the budget.
We said the budget.
You set the budget, but you don't set up how much he has to pay people.
No.
And you have no control over what he does with his money, do you?
No.
Once we give it to him, it's his.
Well, what we fussing at the council for?
Basically, he's given based on our current
He
status.
made his own budget,
No,
right?
he
No,
didn't.
we made the budget, but he spent it how he wanted.
I had a $400,000 budget.
You spent the money as you wanted to.
Listen, I used to have a $400,000 budget.
Used to don't count.
So they said, we don't have the money no more, so they did.
More than that, it's supposed to have to pay it, bro.
Yeah, 300,000, so they cut it way down.
Yeah.
So I had to work with what I got.
And you did.
317,000.
And there's nothing left because you did what you had to do. I'm not saying you didn't do what you had to do.
Yeah.
So it's not the
Actually, we
council's
won't
fault
be
that
like
you're
this.
out of money.
No, we're not, I don't think they blame them.
I mean,
I
the
think
council
it's
had nothing to do with it.
But I don't think.
We don't need 3 clerks in the city hall.
But we do agree, you don't need 3 clerks in the hall.
Police officers in the cluster.
But what I'm saying is,
Now, our goal is to
yes, ma'am, but what I'm saying is, Miss Susan, what I'm saying is, once the money was given to Mr. Bruce, it's his to use as he sees fit.
Yes. Okay, but they think, but at least they ought to be able to keep one officer. If Mr. Bruce gets sick,
I agree
who's gonna
with you.
take care of this time?
I agree
We're gonna
with
be
you.
stuck with
Nobody.
Janice, and if Janice got a big old murder case, we're gonna be on hold.
I agree with
One of
you.
the things,
Okay,
one of the
just
things.
like the same thing with the
We
ambulance service.
we asking for a plan. We had asked for a plan.
Okay, I
We did not
understand.
get a plan.
Okay, but what we saying?
I understand what you're saying.
I'm just worried about
I understand.
our safety, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
If we don't have no officers, come on. No officer.
One of the
but
things
one.
that we need to realize too is you did bring up you brought up a very valid point about there are four people in the city hall. One of the things that has happened is we have cut city hall hours. Those ladies that are working do not work full-time hours. They've got 27 hours.
Doesn't matter, you don't need.
They're-
What do they do? What does each one do?
I can tell you that.
Okay.
Basically, Pam and Doris alternate. They each work X amount, 27 to 28 hours a week. So they split their time.
So they're not all in there at one
Oh,
time?
no. They'll take off, each of them take off a day or two a week.
But like today,
They all do, Pam and
They were
Doris
all
do
gone
both.
today.
But one, but Mike, one worked full-time.
No,
Now they're
they
not
work
working.
full-
Yeah,
no.
they did in the.
No.
Before they all
Pam,
work
oh, we talking
full-time.
about before.
40 plus
Yes.
hours.
So
Right
why do
now,
you got to have two of them
They're
when they don't work as
part-time
many
because one
hours?
is on disability, she's limited on how much she can work. Doris is drawing Social Security, they both make separate amounts of money, they're splitting their time totally. Each of them, if you combine the two, it would amount to one worker, that's why.
Doris, I mean,
Now, one of the
Sandra,
things-
I have a question.
Why
Is
do they
everybody
do
in
this?
that office in the budget? Is Doris counted
She
in the
was not
budget?
Doris' original budget.
when
Doris
we
is not on the board, just
entered
fire.
into the austerity budget, just like with Chief Lemelle, when we entered into the austerity budget, we budgeted his department, one dispatcher,
That's right.
one officer, and him. When we instituted the austerity budget for City Hall, we budgeted the mayor, because we can't touch the mayor's salary according to Larson. We budgeted the water clerk, and we budgeted Sandrez. Doris was not budgeted, so very shortly, we are going to be facing the exact same thing. Some of us did not want to have Doris. I love Doris, but
Well, I
because
love Doris, too.
because we faced an austerity budget,
I can
said,
tell you why.
let's go.
No.
Because part of what she does that has caught up on is all the filing that was never
I
done.
remember that.
Secondly, we have ultimatum to have our thing coming up in September, our audit. That is critical. Without the way it's working now, she could not get it all done, period.
But you had town council members that would go in there and file and do other stuff
And
too,
that,
right?
we had that,
Just
Trudy and I both started that,
Now,
both said
I'm
from the
just
beginning
asking,
that we
I'm
would
just
do that.
asking.
Anyway, what we have in the office now is needed.
That's right.
And the hours are being split. So it's actually Sandrez that's working full-time, the other two are working part-time. And it's gonna remain that way till we get caught up.
Let the record show that while
And I work
Sandrez is
full-time.
working full-time, that does
Plus I
not mean
work
that
on
she's
Saturdays.
working full-time.
Yeah.
Sandrez does not get any overtime.
That's
Yeah,
what you
for
choose to
zero.
do, that's your job.
I want that
I
understood.
mean, if that's your job, that's your
Residents,
job, right?
Sandrez does not
Better
get
work
any
full-time or
overtime, her
over- if that's
overtime
your job,
comes in
you do your
UTO.
job.
So she just has to stash that, like
You
you
do
and I
your
should
job,
surpass
you
the
know.
clock.
You may sit in
Moving
your
on.
office
No,
longer than what you should work.
Okay,
Work for the permanent.
Okay, Erica had something. Go ahead.
So I do have a question, and it refers to unemployment, because a layoff is an automatic qualification of unemployment. So my question is, as a municipality, we have what, 72 hours to report that to the state? Okay,
Are you talking about the wages or the separation?
the separation, you have 72 hours to report that to the state. All right, so my question for you is, are you paying in for unemployment right now? Or are you gonna have to pay the state unemployment for them?
We're gonna have to pay in because we currently are
You're
not.
not, so you
Yeah.
don't have anything in
No,
those.
and I was never told they were laid off.
Okay,
David Potter called and said, I'm laid off. Well, I never knew, because I have to do a separation notice
Correct.
for everyone to
Yes.
start the process.
and that was gonna be my next question, did the proper paperwork take?
No, because I did not know they were being laid off.
Okay. So regardless, we're gonna have to pay unemployment for
Exactly.
upwards of, I think the max is 26 weeks? For
I'm
unemployment?
not going on this record.
No,
I'm gonna go nuts in my house.
so sometimes people
I
put
don't
fine
want it in
jobs,
3 days.
regardless if they're putting applications, you have to pay a fine job.
Yeah.
So that's a cost we're gonna have to incur.
I do have a question.
How many people are being laid
That's
off?
the problem, it's
How
not
many
me.
people are being laid off?
If there was money, they would.
So 4 people, do the math, $240-something for all 4 of them people, and that's what the town's gonna have to pay.
And I don't think Terry Gaffney got paid because.
No, Terry got denied.
Terry got denied because the paperwork was never,
Right.
they say they had nothing for the town, from the town. And I know they knew Terry was laid off because I brought him up to the council.
Yeah, so the paperwork needs to be done and needs to be submitted to the state, because if it isn't properly, submitted to the state, the municipality, I think, gets fined, right?
Yes.
Anything
Again, I
after
don't need to, I can't start the process if I don't know.
I know, but I just want to bring that to
No, we-
everybody's attention.
we were aware.
Yes, it will be taken care of.
She got notified, we had a call from one of the officers. and
Okay.
So she immediately,
Okay.
So there was nothing sent to the council, there was nothing sent to the mayor in writing stating these
Okay.
officers are going to be laid off. I have laid off these officers for the reduction in force.
Okay.
So this is our
Notice.
notice. Our notice was when, our first notice was about 4-something this afternoon when, Officer
No, when
Well,
dispatch.
Dispatcher
I thought he
called.
said y'all approached him and said he had.
We talked to him earlier today.
No.
We talked to him earlier today, the chief,
Yeah.
and in council, and he said that he wanted to wait until tonight to make that,
I wanted to
until
make-
all of this was
All
done.
y'all was
But-
involved and the people was here.
And so, but
but how did he get
something
laid off
happened
this
because
afternoon?
by 4 o'clock this afternoon.
He called St. Red.
I knew since earlier.
Because Derek called.
I called him to let him know that we are having a meeting and that we are being laid off.
I was just wondering, because Bruce had asked.
No, that was my fault.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Now, I
So
got,
do we need to?
Yes.
by any chance, let's say I go to another agency.
Mhm.
By any chance, when we start getting the budget to hire officers, can y'all call the ones y'all just laid off first?
Yes.
That's up to
Well,
them.
that's up to
That's
the
what I'm saying. Can, that's what we're gonna do, right?
And I'm hoping that
Okay.
it might happen that we can go
Well, I'm
out
telling
and,
y'all now, I wanted to retire here.
maybe we can get a grant.
And prayerfully,
Then I
that's
have a tribal meeting, I'm hoping
We
that.
don't want to stay like
Budget's coming
this.
over in January.
Who wants to stay like this?
December, the budget needs to be done.
We can't rely on tribal.
Are they officially, was this the announcement that they are officially laid off?
Well, that's what I want to
That's what we're about to clarify.
Is this the official laid off? Are we doing it right now?
Not for us.
As it is, they say I don't have no money in the budget, so I have to, I mean, I can't pay them if I don't have no money in the budget.
So they are officially laid off as of.
Officially laid off as today.
So then, if that's the case, then I would suggest that the council then accept the chief's recommendation to lay off each of those
If
officers.
I don't have no money, I cannot pay them. And they won't pay.
When will we find out if there's a grant for our officers?
I make a motion based on Chief Lemelle stating that he is laying off his officers. I make a motion that we accept the layoffs of the Elton Police Department and the dispatchers. Who seconded?
I see.
Are the security lights turned off in town?
You need to vote, Mayor.
We need a vote, is that a roll call vote?
Sorry. We have a vote, sorry.
Everybody, a vote on the motion, all those in favor?
We thank y'all so much, and we're not wanting this to be that we.
I'm more hurt than I am.
I know y'all probably seen them.
It's the last thing in the world that
That's not my business.
Yeah,
That's not my business. I'm not here.
but
I'm
what
in
I'm
charge
telling
of
you,
them.
yeah,
I'm not in charge of the budget.
yeah.
That's.
No, I'm saying all the accounts that we have,
No,
but how they're.
yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
Yes.
But I don't understand that.
Oh, okay.
That's why my.
Yeah, we're not
budget-
doing it to, yeah.
I haven't made that enough school to understand that kind of stuff. I'm not that kind of school.
Yeah, we're sorry, and we're praying.
I just want, if something happens, we get it.
You have my word.
Yes, and I mean, it really goes to Bruce.
It's up to the chief.
I truly appreciate all y'all.
See, Melvin has something.
It's my goal to actually bring you guys back and give you a raise at the same time.
Officer Eastwood, hold on just a moment, because I'd like to recognize Mr. Melvin Guidry on the floor.
Yes, ma'am.
known for a while that we've had some financial issues. I said we've known for a while that we've got some financial issues.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'd like to hear going forward is some fundraising activities to kind of help add some money back. Even if it's a little bit, that's better than nothing.
Well, we had that discussion recently, and I think we just need to bring it to fruition and start doing it. And there's been volunteers, and I'd like to thank several. Tommy Reed's been cutting grass at Park. Al Woods has volunteered. I've also had Kim Brookhouse, Michael, that's come volunteer. So the community is stepping up.
But I mean, like, even if it's hamburger sales,
Yeah.
maybe some nice plate lunches, I don't, you know, we just need to do something.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. May I call upon y'all?
Yes. Wednesday or Thursday, I'm free, and all day Friday, so.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to, ask for a motion to adjourn to go into executive session. Just a motion.
Need a motion to go into executive session, please?
Second.
I made the motion.
I need to vote on that.
Hey, they did a vote on a motion, we still in an active meeting.
We have a motion to go into executive session. I have a second. We have a vote. All in favor?
I need a few minutes.
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute break and reconvene in executive session at 8:20.
What else can I do? Executive session for what?
You're welcome.
And I know Bruce makes it, and we make that it's, you don't even